So you probably have seen this very young and capable gentleman right here. He has definitely been on board, sharing his property insights that he has garnered how many years? 20 years? No lah, cannot lah. He's still very young lah, huh? But definitely more than 10 years lah. Enough experiences to share it with you guys here. And the best part is, not only that, towards the second half of our session also, we want to make it engaging. So we don't want to just like 他讲他的爽，我讲我的爽, right? So what we're going to do is, of course, we are also going to open up the session to the floor. So feel free to just ask questions, okay? Don't be shy about it. You can ask any question you have in mind. This person right here is definitely going to take it lah, huh? If you don't take it, you let me know. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, you know who he is? If you're ready to meet him, let us put our hands together to welcome the real estate guy. We have our renowned property influencer, YouTuber, Sean Tan. Sean, join us to be seated. Hi. So very thrilled to have you here, Sean. So how have you been doing? Let's just say.
Best venue ever because it's 5 minutes from my house.
5 minutes. So we know that Sean here actually reside in Bukit Jalil.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's definitely a lot to pry into today. But I think today's we have a very special topic. Let's just put it this way. The topic is the winning formula for Bukit Jalil property boom. But of course, before we dive headfirst straight away to talk about Bukit Jalil, this amazing locale. How about let's start off by digging a bit into your own personal background. So, because we know that Sean started his, I think, first investment when it comes to property, I think at the age of what, 22, 23?
Yep.
So as young as 22 and 23, so very inspiring, right? So when was your first high-rise purchase? We want to know that. And maybe what drive you to get your first high-rise?
The first one is already a high-rise.
Oh, first one already a high-rise. Okay.
And that's because it's the only thing I can afford.
It's the only thing you can afford.
Yeah. So if you play the game right, like why are we not buying landed? It's because number one, realistically, press too hard, right? No money lah.
Okay.
Who would want to buy high-rise when you can get landed, right? I also want Bukit Jalil landed lah, right? But it's just 1.8 million ma, right? And it's 1.8 million, your rental cannot cover, right? So the game of so what I share on my YouTube channel is always to build the portfolio from nothing. So I got no money, take EPF like several times already, empty out all the money I can already just to buy property. Buy already, roll second, third, fourth, fifth lor. Then the first landed that I buy, they got into trouble.
What happened?
Oh, that one is in YouTube lah. That one very drama one, right? For those who will know. Then because of that, then once I recovered from that, I continued working on investment to an extent that a lot of bankers know me, not as a audience, but they are literally my banker.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so they know what I'm buying lah. But I don't tell you which banker. You know, everybody go there.
So we want an estimate ratio, like in your own investment portfolio, landed high rise. How would the ratio be like?
I'm dividing because
too many already, under Sean's portfolio.
Okay, so my goal of investment, so I want to own 25 properties, right?
Wow.
And I'm about halfway there.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. Thank you. But it took very long time lah. But I'm actually behind schedule, so need to buy more this year before the bull run. So I only own like one in close to the airport area, one in Johor Bahru, close to the Causeway Link lah. So now with the property bull run in Johor, I also tiba-tiba durian runtuh. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, surprisingly enough, you can tell that actually a lot of people these days, they also tend to lean towards high-rise. I think it's also because of the daily conveniences that you can get. Of course, it comes also with the security or, 24 hours CCTV and whatnot. So, to be honest, personally for myself, right, I'm actually currently residing at a landed property. So, I think it's also it's going to be a very valuable insight for me to see it in a different angle, because all of us know Park Green is definitely a high-rise service apartment. So, since today's topic is about winning formula for Bukit Jalil property boom, how about let's start off and let's dive straight into this locale right here. Now, I mean, over the years, I'm sure that many of you would have noticed that Bukit Jalil, they transform from a sport hub to a premium address. So in your opinion, from your observations, what were some of the significant factors that truly accelerated this transformation? Especially you are also staying in Bukit Jalil.
Yeah. So that one from a history standpoint, you can chat GPT that, right? So for me, my first touch of Bukit Jalil is when I was still with my girlfriend, now wife lah. Okay, she studies IMU. And at that time, what was the most famous story was the Hong Kong singer's wife stay around. Then every time we pass by, right? For those who know, you know lah, right? Oh, the famous Hong Kong star's wife house. Then that time also you see not doing well one. But what personally I think what boomed is the completion of the MRT. So the LRT is around, and then when you see the land opposite this side all open up, and you have a competition developer also launching like mad. So okay, so what similar theory to how Kota Kemuning became so famous is because you have a lot of developers all built together, right? Bukit Jalil the same. So easily here you can find like 4 developers actively pushing the addresses, right? Then you can see so many different. So you constantly see Bukit Jalil, Bukit Jalil, Bukit Jalil, Bukit Jalil, Bukit Jalil. Yeah, so I think that is also one of the effect. And when the MCO happened, suddenly park becomes very important, right? Then definitely the mall lah. I was around also when they announced the mall. Then everybody was thinking, you sure or not? Can do me here, who will come here? Because in proximity, right? How many malls we got? Sunway Pyramid, Mid Valley, right? Here to the KL Pavilion is only like 20 minutes without jam lah, right? Also very close one. That's where I collect all my watches ma. So,
Okay.
Because here no Rolex, so I keep asking them to bring in. So the only reason why I come here less often is because I got no shop to go in here. Yeah.
Okay, but let's also dive deeper. So we understand that halo effect that where you have all these developers coming in and then thriving that development. So you got plots of developments here and there. But let us also very realistically try to compare. I hope we don't have like Old Klang people or Sri Petaling people in the house. Do we have? But if you look at some of this township, some of them may have taken like decades to mature. But you can tell Bukit Jalil, I think it's just in the very recent years that the boom is so apparent.
Yeah, so like we review properties on almost like a daily basis, and we realize this old money effect. Okay, so for example, who is going to buy properties over here and in Old Klang Road, right? Like price per square feet wise, a bit steep, right there. But sales are always very good. Why? Because it's the parents who is paying so that the children don't have to go too far to travel. So if you talk to a lot of people who, because I always check into very weird properties, I ask them, hey, wow, so young can buy this property? Oh, daddy pay one. Wow, why my daddy didn't pay for me? And it's very common. So every Friday, Saturday, Sunday is compulsory to go back home to OUG, go back home to Kuchai Lama one. And if you look in all the landed properties there, all big one. But for a youngster, they've seen how their parents maintain those old houses. But then this marks the product also. Like this one is a perfect, like what I've noticed also throughout the years is there's a lot of downsizing going on. You want to maintain a 2,800 square feet house, 6 toilets, Monday to Friday, wash. Then you start cursing on the number of toilet bowls you have in the house. Okay? Then now when you move into a 3-bedroom, smaller unit. And what I like also is the bigger build-up doesn't necessarily transfer into more number of rooms, because that's what people are going for. So it's a very unique audience or buyers altogether. And back to the old money thing, like Kinrara people are coming over, OUG people are coming over, Kochai Lama are coming over. Why? Because there got nothing else already. Because if you look into the density here, it's also pretty crazy. But it somewhat has that New York Central Park kind of effect, just because of the park, right? Personally, as a resident, my greatest fear for 2 things. One, they take away the park. You're here 1,000 per square feet, you don't build, I build. If I can, that's why nobody wants Sean to be developer one. I no mercy one. The other one is they take away the golf course because my house is in between them. So I like tikam.
Sean is able to secure the best feng shui spot lah.
Yeah. So that's the greatest fear. But now because of that also, everybody younger, like if you can, it's pretty common. Okay, I'm not calling myself an influencer. I'm not that famous one. But if you go around, right, this street, a lot of very famous people all the time one. All the time. Like then a lot of Hong Kong YouTubers all must come here one. which is very weird. Like here got what? Oh, I also don't know. Right? But apparently the attraction point is strong. Everybody is coming here, the younger crowds. And if you look into the tenant pools as well, it's also very interesting. Here got omakase, right? And all Japanese restaurants in Bukit Jalil all packed one. That's when I really realized I thought I kind of made it in life. Okay, I think my income not too bad, right? Not even close. You look into the density of alphas around here, it's higher than my V1.
I have to agree with that.
Because the student, my kids' classmate, they complain they cannot find their parents' car. Because all black same one. Whole row. So then omakase need to line up, whatever, yakiniku, all need to line up. Then I thought I made it, but apparently everybody still wants to come here. So with all that, that's my impression of Bukit Jalil, and that's why everybody keeps coming in.
Right. So since we are still in the topic of locale, right? So now that we know this area here, and then you have of course the pavilion Bukit Jalil and whatnot. So what about in terms of its connectivity? Maybe you can share us a little bit because you have been staying here.
Yeah.
Is it within easy reach to your daily conveniences?
The worst project for me to visit in my daily job is Desa Baksit because the entire LDP is designed for that. So from Bukit Jalil, drive all the way to Desa Baksit. That's the furthest project that I need to go to. For the rest, right, you want to go to Southern, go to KL City Centre, go Subang, go PJ, everywhere. How many highways we have here? A lot. Yep. And there's no other... So that's the best part. Okay, that's the best part about this project, but not all Bukit Jalil project got this connectivity. Means if one side jam, you can always turn around. So that's the very important point that I always look for in a project. So in terms of connectivity, nothing too much to complain about, only when the amount of density that's coming in. Okay, so I'll just be upfront, right? The third concern, I didn't say anything, I got two concerns. The third concern is the upcoming supply within this address. So when we look into our supply in Bukit Jalil, easily for the next 4 to 5 years, there will be about 8 to 10,000 units, right? But all selling very well. Okay, so when you think about that, is density necessarily a bad thing? If it's a bad thing, then Mont Kiara would have failed. KL Central would have failed, right? So not necessarily density equals to failure. Bangsasa would have failed long time already. So it's about planning, but we have yet to see yet. Then also you got to look at Bukit Jalil into zoning. I call this my Bukit Jalil is here lah. Bukit Jalil City and the park and the golf course lah. Anywhere else is not Bukit Jalil to me. No lah, just kidding. So you have the Muhibah Station side, you will have the IMU side, you have the stadium side. There's still got a lot, right? But it's just, to me, not that Bukit Jalil experience. It's also like Mont Kiara. The only Mont Kiara I recognize is Jalan Mont Kiara True Blue. Mont Kiara 3, Mont Kiara 4, Mont Kiara 7, to me, Okay? So that's why I always buy True Blue address. And when you go into real estate deep enough, every street has its own dynamic. Like my own Mont Kiara unit, I'm renting out 5,003 a month. My audience complain to me, hey, because of you, I buy Mont Kiara. But they buy the Mont Kiara 4, rent out 3,008, then you can't blame me. Brother, different street, ma. So the dynamic is very, very crucial. So it's going to happen to here soon. Because everybody will tell everybody that they stay Bukit Jalil. But which part of Bukit Jalil then becomes a very interesting debate. Okay? And also, are you buying small units? Are you buying big units? Are you buying next to the mall? Are you buying next to the park? Or are you just buying in between all blocks lah? So which one you're buying? That becomes a pain point that a lot of people don't want to talk about. That's why all those reflects in the selling price.
But that also becomes something that I think a lot of us would ponder, because now that you do have a unit here at Mont Kiara as well. So, for a lot of property investors out there, whether they're thinking, hey, should I go for Bukit Jalil or Mont Kiara, for instance, we're talking about comparing it to another growth corridor, like maybe, like you say, Bangsasau and whatnot. Then why do you personally think that Bukit Jalil here stands out more?
Oh, I didn't say it stands out more. You say
I'm trying to say it stands out more.
So, okay, in research, we do tierings. So for every address, right, we will gazette them into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3s. What's the difference? For those who are not familiar, right? TTDI is tier 2. because you can never fetch a 5,000 rental in TTDI one. Okay, but in Mont Kiara, a 2-bedroom is 5,003. Why would like it's same road leh? Hello, it's like next door only like. But tier 2 is where all the rich Malaysians will stay, because you will never pay 32 ringgit for a nasi lemak one. Siao, right? Only Japanese, Korean, and other rich fellas will pay that kind of money. So those, like you can see in Bangsa South, Desa Park City, KL Central, all expect going eat one. Good lah. We tax them. Then for tier 2 locations, it's like Bukit Jalil, where I see, because I made a statement also before, like it's on video, don't know which video lah, that this feels very close to Mont Kiara, but lacking the job opportunities. So when you have job opportunities, only you will have temporary demand of space, and that drives rental rates very high. But like in my blog now, my kids that suddenly after swimming come back, Daddy, annyeong. Then I'm like, who speaks Korean here? Then when you go downstairs, then there's a lot of Japanese, Korean, Angmo, I don't know where are they from, all Caucasian, right? So I call them Angmo. Angmos, then a lot of China PRCs, right? All here. And I asked where they work, right? Nearby. They don't want to tell me where, they scared I go and check. Then like now also I start seeing a lot of mat sales around the parks as well. Again, I feel very foreign because I go there and feed fish. I bring my kid go and feed fish. Then why got so many orang putih walking around? Are you guys lost? Here is Bukit Jalil, you know. Then even in OUG market, the OUG Pasar Malam, why are you here? Then they go and make videos, YouTube videos. So suddenly the rental rates at my block, I'm making, technically if I rent out, I will make a lot of money. And that's my perception as well.
Now, here's one thing. I think those of you, if you have been exploring a little bit about Park Ring especially, I think you will know by now that we are currently, I think, selling, let's geek out some data here, about maybe over 1,000 per square feet. So of course, when you say, over 1,000 square feet, right, it's probably the price that you can also fetch in KL city center, right? We talk about KLCC, Ampang over there. But do you agree that location definitely comes with cost?
Part of the cost. I think this one squeeze out a little bit for effort, right? Why you can demand such 1,000 per square feet is because of the mall. It's because of track records, right? So why you don't see any other projects in this area is trying to sell at that price. And cool fact, I think, don't hate me for this, right? I think it's underpriced.
Okay, Melton, Team Melton, underpriced?
Because you just look into rental rates. I'm just square up, right? So, okay, my 3-bedroom unit, 950 square feet can rent out for 4,500. 4,500 can break even a 1 million unit already. So here, like next door, because I got a lot of gym members also stay at Park 2, their earlier phase, renting 6,000-7,000. So if you just reverse calculate, right, on a 35 years loan, 4%, underpriced. And when you buy now, you are comparing to current sub-sale price. That's why I'm very happy also when you all push up the price up, because I'm making money. But that's besides the fact. If you buy, let's say if I buy at this price now, I look at the adjacent rental rates, right? Almost no-brainer, like from an investment point of view. And you get a unit 3 to 4 years down the road. And with this developer, you got you will never worry they will not complete the project. Sometimes you try luck outside, buy from a developer that we see for the first time, right? Every day. Why no crane one? Why no crane one? Right? Why no worker one? Scared lor. But this one, you don't have to even worry about it because works are already ongoing, right? So that's my point of view. The only, for those who are buying today, the only concern is pick your car park because the site is rather narrow. So I think 10 levels.
But car parks are assigned anyway to the units.
Yeah. So when you buy, that's why you can pick pick properly.
Yeah, pick your unit properly.
And
in fact, I think one of the catch here is that every unit comes with a minimum of 2 car parks. So I think that's definitely a point that you will want to take into consideration because after all, nowadays, how many households only have 1 car, right? A minimum also 2 cars, husband and wife and whatnot. So this is something that you can look into as well. 2 to 3 car parks depending on the unit that you choose here.
Yep. So that's my take on this project because I've seen, and the best thing about this is, so it's a bit boring from my point of view because I've seen like 800 over projects. And I've seen like 4 of their projects before already. Their treatments to common areas, I close eye, I can draw for you. It's all the same. So it's very, very consistent, if not better. That's about it. Okay, so not like you need to guess again, need to pray. Oh, hopefully my swimming pool nice. So that's the best part, and no more uncertainty. The biggest thing, uncertainty that Park Sky people buy, right? The mall will complete or not? The mall will be successful or not? All this kind of concern, but this one don't have, right? So with all those certainty, that's why I think the 1,000 per square feet, it's a result of all those track record. Then only when you think about location, right? And the weirdest thing, right opposite the highway, right, is 700, 600 per square feet. And nobody want to buy. The weirdest phenomenon from a real estate point of view. Why? Yeah, lor? So from there, like, I don't judge, I just follow market. And I think here still can go lah. But I think because they haven't fully finished, maybe the last 10 units only, they try to milk everything out lah.
Okay, so now that we come to understand a lot more about the locale, especially if you're not residing in Bukit Jalil alone, now let's dive a little bit deeper into the product itself. So of course, our crown jewel for the day definitely is our Park Green. And when I first had like the info shared to me also, I was very intrigued with the layout of the house actually. Of course, you already know that this is a freehold service apartment, but if we look closely, unlike a lot of developers out there, we're looking at a build out ranging from about 1,200 square feet all the way to about 1,900 square feet. So the minimum size that you are getting also about 1,200 square feet, guys. So it is obvious and also apparent that this project itself is like 30% probably larger than typical KL condo. So do you think this is like a liability, or this is like a, a future-proofing strategy, or, in your opinion?
I think the design team worked out a lot of strategies lah. Okay, because at this current junction of time, we have seen a lot of mini units around KLCC, right? One square feet, 1,008, then the unit is 380 square feet, sale value 600,000, right? So that is one side of the supply. But I think again, that's why I say they're a bit more conservative. If it's for me, right, I would just build that and just call it a day. Everybody will want to do just short term,
Yes.
and and then everybody just rent out short term, right? Because like today there will be a football match, then whenever you got Deng Ziqi come lah, Coldplay come lah, right? Everybody will want to stay. To an extent, right, that the row facing the stadium, they can rent out their balcony for 4 hours, man.
Oh, yeah. I heard that also.
No, it's real. My friend rent out the unit. So you come to my house, sit at my balcony, then got drinks, right? It's $60 or whatever. Then they just sit at the balcony, watch. A very, very weird thing lah from a real estate again point of view. But I think by putting in this size, putting in the product with a combination where I think all products should be placed like that. So this is not your usual buy short-term stay, then call it a day. This one you can really stay. And I think this is a very nice downsizing product. For a lot of folks who are staying in their mansions, then all children all study overseas, you all don't want to come back, right? Why don't consider this one? Anything, right? Like here is not like downsizing your lifestyle also. You can eat Hai Di Lao like every meal also you want. So that becomes a very interesting thing. And usually for luxury products like this, it always comes in a setting where it's a little bit more private. Like we talk about Jalan Mongkiara 7, up the hill. You want to go out, right? You still need to drive out one. But this one you don't need. And the amount of units is like 200 over units.
One tower. So we have about a total of 400, over 400 units.
At this
for Park Green.
current time is, again, too kind. I will call the developer too kind. For me, I would like double, half the size. Let's go. Easier to sell also. But again, like they are taking the harder approach, which I totally appreciate. And if you look into the layout also, the seating height is always there. Okay, like, because I went to River Park, the Duta Park, whatever park, right? All I went already. All is very consistent. Nobody ever complained about their layout being a bit too
Odd,
too odd. Only the center one. Only the center one with the curved wall. But curved wall, it needs, because it's facing the park, so I don't know which level that the park will have the best view lah. That one very interesting.
So it's interesting because actually initially I was also about to ask Sean, because some of the, of course, other critics out there lah, they would view like, oh, you have 453 units, but yet you label Park Green as, a sanctuary of luxury living. So some will actually think that this doesn't align with that premiumness vibe that you are getting. But I think in your stand, you are still saying that, oh, Melton is being very kind and lenient, in fact.
And most of the time, right, who is making all this statement? I don't see them buying also.
That's true
Oops.
also.
Okay.
And I think, okay, tell us a little bit more, because you have definitely observed, like you say, 800 over projects, right? Can you share with us some of the observation as well, trends about property buyers these days when it comes to space?
Okay, it depends on what stage or what is your level of income lah, or how big your wallet is lah. So for a young one, then they always look at price only. But of course, when money is no longer an issue, then we want convenience. Then to a certain level, only I can't see already. I need to go jogging because life too good, right? Then only they want to start
To go to the park.
go to the park, right? Then when you build families, then you only start appreciating schools. Then amenities and facilities around education. Right? Before having a child, you will never care where's the tuition center one.
That's right, I agree with that.
So like that's why here, if you look at it, right, it's like a perfect combo of everything because it's there before it's famous. And here you have a nice, like, I would argue, that's my wife's plan, not my plan. My wife's plan is my kid from 3 years old to 18, Gao Tim here. From uni also got, from secondary, from, then it depends on my wallet size, whether international school or local school lah. Please let him study
Half,
Chinese.
half.
I want him to study Chinese school. Hey, very expensive international school. Someone need to buy to go in one, right? 实际 need to interview a 5-year-old.
Correct. Submit your application first.
Well, my name is, I can say my name also. I think I can go standard 1 already last time. Okay, so like, you have all these facilities, right, around. Then you have the old school golf club. You have everything. And it's all complementary. And I like it that it was, all these were there before the building was there. And now you have one of the biggest mall here.
Yeah.
So I think it's about, then, okay, this is the curveball. When you are in abundance already, so all kids after 18 already all move out already, right? Every time Chinese New Year only, you're busy with the house. And you get so devastated when they don't want to come back.
Yep.
How about exit that one, get something in a high rise? Because at this stage then, I think everybody should start traveling. And when you start traveling, right, you don't have to ask your neighbor to come and fake on your light lah, go and feed my dog lah, right? When you have that absolute safety, you can just leave the house anytime. Even your door locked or not important. You got only how many neighbors only, right? So at that level, don't let the house don't be a slave to your house, right? Let the house service you for its needs. That's my point of view lah. That's why I will definitely buy one in KLCC one. So I just every day look at Ang Mo lah.
That's right. So earlier we mentioned about like the 453 units, right, from this project alone. But we also want to reassure you, you are definitely getting the comfort of a secure environment, serene also, because in fact, we have exclusive floor plates here. So that means that every floor, you are only expecting about 6 to 7 units across the 47 stories. So that you are sharing your, in a way, it's not private lift lah, because private lift only brings you to your unit, right? But the idea is that, hey, you do not have to, jam-pack yourself in the lift, especially during rush hour, and at the same time, you have enough lift to service your residents, knowing that, like you say, you don't have that many neighbors to worry you as well. I think this is something that is going to provide a complete comfort to your mind also in terms of security, in terms of knowing that, you and your loved one are staying in such a prevalent project right here. Now, let's also talk about one of actually our very standout feature. So we have been definitely shouting loud that we have this 50-acre integrated master plan. So from prospective residents who prioritize walkability right here, do you think like Melton truly deliver a pedestrian-friendly living experience compared to KL neighborhoods, like for example KLCC?
Got things to walk with here?
To the mall.
Oh, yeah lah. So okay, I call it mixed development. I don't call it walkable city lah.
Okay.
Right? So, and I don't think Malaysia got any walkable city. Because anything beyond 15 meters, right? Beyond 15 minutes, right? I'll drive there already.
That's you.
No. Like today also, like technically my wife asked me, are you going to walk there? No, at 12 o'clock, right? So I pay valet outside lah.
Okay.
Yes means like between all the phases means like if you stay Park Sky, Park 2, Park Green, you have an option of not driving out. If not, on a normal basis, that's why I heavily emphasize on your car park, because that's the position and that's the thing that you frequent every day multiple times. But a lot of people don't design that with pride, man.
That's
a lot of
right.
people just, the grand entrance must be nice, but my lift lobby every day I wait there, right? Not nice one. So I always argue that the grand entrance is for the Grab driver one. Why I pay so much money for the Grab driver? So every day, imagine if you were to go out for every single meal, meet every friends, right? You go up and down the car is about 4 to 5 times. And that's the main difference between a landed and a high-rise. But because landed bo pian ma, takkan you walk to the shop lot, right? In OUG, imagine you walk. Then you also worry about people robbing you, right? So here you have an option. Definitely a bonus, but just that. Okay, because I just came back from Singapore. So on Monday, I just came back from Singapore. So they all got no choice. That's why they walk. We all got car. Why walk? Right? Henry Ford invented a car, so I had to walk. So I think that we are spoiled for that. Then, but again, it's just a very cool option to have.
Definitely. I think we have to tap into this. It's actually an added convenience and an option here. Because even if you look at the shoppers maybe profile here at Pavilion Bukit Jalil, yeah, you're right. Like, we don't really see people walking around. They, like you say, they come in their outfits and whatnot. This is a very affluent neighborhood that we're looking at. But it's the idea that you have this option. For example, they also actually provide a shuttle service. I was chatting with a sales consultant. There is actually a complimentary shuttle service to get you also to a nearest LRT station that is just 2 kilometers away. Yes, we may not take LRT. Like, I don't remember when was the last time I took LRT.
Orang kaya ni.
But it is always an option. I think, especially let's say if you're looking at it as an investment portfolio, I think maybe you never know. Maybe your tenant may need that added convenience. So I think that adds up all together. And don't forget also you have this the bridge effect. I think this is the bridge part where it connects you to whatever grocery shopping. Basically, you come down from your unit, you just walk the bridge either from the ground floor or you take the link bridge. You can just reach all your grocery shop, 5 minutes lah. You can watch a movie here. So I think if I were to put this contrast to some of the Mont Kiara projects, I think it's even harder to attain convenience like such.
Mont Kiara works because it's even higher than. Means the horizontal distance between components is way shorter. So it's easier to work around. Right? Okay, because I got invested there as well. So here, like if you were to walk, you can only walk within Bukit Jalil City. But how come it's not integrated to the other competitors? That one is a whole different thing, right? But I would argue, like in Bangsa South, it's also walkable just because it's high dense enough. You have enough footfall, so all commercial can work. Then rental also very high. And for people who works there, they can just reside there. So it's a very different component. Like here, I don't think the people who stay in Park Green is going to work in Pavilion. They're going to shop in Pavilion, right? So it's a very different typology. But in other locations like Bangsa South, it's people who stays there, works there. Different. So like this one is good. So that's why this one is a very, I assume a lot of people buy already, put there one. But they don't even need the rental rates. Not like for investors who buys Mont Kiara and Bangsa, right? Before VP, I already get the keys to renovate it. Not allowed actually, but I will always do that.
Okay, let's also dive into another, I think, a unique selling point from Melton here. So our Park Green Pavilion Bukit Jalil right here is actually one of the pavilion series that come with a curated concierge service. So if you head down to your ground floor lobby, that's where you have this additional concierge service right here. Do you think this kind of service really add value to the development itself, to the residents?
I never tried it before. Not there yet, right? Like just now I want to park the valet also, they thought I would look for direction. I park my car. Boss, sini tak boleh ba? Pavilion sana. Okay, so I don't know, but assuming if I'm in a retiree mode, I just need somebody to be at the door to help me with my bags, to help me with my things. So I think it's an added service again, right? But what matters more to me is the operations of it. Because a lot of condos and projects, they sell concierge. But 3 years later, tak nampak orang pun, right? And that's the best part of my job because I've seen enough. Only when it's attached to a hotelier, then it makes more sense in that manner. But again, we have to see. To me, it's an operational.
So you're looking into more the operational sustainability in that
Yeah.
sense.
Because what's the difference between a lobby and a concierge service? It's just a person.
To offer you additional services.
Correct lah, correct lah. So technically, it's just a person there. I can call it concierge lah, but if no person there, I just call it a lobby, right? So to me, it's an operational advantage. But when maintenance become an issue, maintenance collection, maintenance fees collection becomes an issue, then maybe he's the first guy to go. Don't know. So it's an operational thing. So far, I have seen only like one with an active person there.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Of course, we also know that we do offer some partially furnished units as well. So like digital locks, you've got some partial kitchen cabinets around, and then every unit here is also equipped with air cons and whatnot. Do you think this approach also will somehow solve our customers or our buyers' pain point in some way? Or for you personally, you prefer, I don't know, a bare unit that comes with it?
To me, as an investor, I will not prefer fully furnished. So partial furnished addresses all the pain points, then let customers play with all the fun part, like the living room. Well, I get to pick my settee, pick my wallpaper, pick my wall finishes, right? Yes. Nothing practical about it, one. Meaning, compared to a toilet, kitchen, yard space kind of furnishing, right? Those is where you gotta know what kind of specs, what pressure, what pipings, how to drill and all. Yeah, so they resolve all the pain points for customers, but then leave all the fun part, the customization part, to let buyers feel they participate in the house.
That's right, that's right. Because
Yeah.
sometimes also I think every customer or every household, they do have a way of how they want their house to look like at the end of the day. So I think nowadays, I think it's really quite pointless to fully furnish a unit like you said, but just by providing the necessary components, I think it will make the buyer a lot happier because they also don't have to spend so much to whack out everything and then to rebuild the whole unit, isn't it?
But fully furnished is also always a strategy to mask the price increase in it. Why you laugh so hard, right?
It is, it is.
So like maybe, yeah. So like phase 1, bare, phase 2, fully partial furnished, I increase price. The last one, okay, I provide fully furnished. That's why it justifies the final price hike, right? But actually, got people like or not, don't know lah, right? But for first timers, I really don't have that extra 40,000 to furnish the house, right? I put it under financing lah, bo pian lah, really bo pian. So it's not a right or wrong kind of thing, just that whether it is suitable to a project or not. But here, I like that it's partial furnished. So all the pain points, all kasi siap. I come in, I want to go and pick my Roselle, pick my Lorenzo. I think the settee, I think the interior design is going to cost almost half. I assume the buyers here, right, they're going to do it very nicely.
Okay, now of course, I believe that some of you may be very new to also our developer, Melton. Some of you probably you have heard them before, but maybe you do not know their track record as much. So do you enjoy this Melton's phase approach? I can see that they start off by having their commercial components incorporated first in the township, then residential. Do you agree that this actually always work better?
No magic formula. But I was around when they VP the signature shop houses outside. So it's one of those very rare stratified shop offices where you park downstairs, still need to pay car park one. Right? Because if you go into old shop houses, right, car park never enough one lah. Right? And if you I always go OUG on a daily basis, right? There's you can double park, you consider lucky already. Right? So here you won't have such problems. But it's a big risk lah. And now rental also not cheap. So a whole unit is about 16,000 for the shop lots outside. Yeah. So it's not so that's why you can see pretty frequent change of. But I just don't understand the salon can make so much money one. Or the Pilates studio, walao. Or orang kaya punya benda. Okay, so that's why you don't even see that automatically eliminates a lot of other tenants. So if you go to after Liming side, you have all the normal Malaysians kind of category lah, the mamas, the wanton mee, right? Here you won't see lo. That's why it's a big risk in my opinion. And the fact that they can pull it off, I think is a very, very good thing lah. But just that this one affected the whole world lah. MCO happened lah. So that, I think, greatly affected the momentum when the mall was completed. That's all. So everybody will just say, yeah, this mall, you see, Tai Lo MCO leh. But that was the time that I also buy this location. If not, no, without MCO, right, I wouldn't be staying in Bukit Jalil one. People cannot afford. So I bought it at a discount. Not Melton one, but opposite.
But yeah, I mean, exactly, I think the point. I think it's also important for our guests here today to really understand that, in fact, Melton has been like one of the most Malaysia's revered developer in transforming a lot of landscapes into icons. If you look around at this iconic Bukit Jalil city, we have had this, I think, this is a 1.6 or 8 million square feet size pavilion Bukit Jalil. And this is also an award-winning mall, by the way. And then, of course, we have also have incorporated components like Hyatt Place, and then, of course, earlier on, we have our prestigious residences like Park Sky Residences also. So we are definitely established here in Malaysia especially, and in fact with over 45 years of legacy. So something to ponder. So like Sean said, you know, usually when you are purchasing a property or you are building your investment portfolio, we always look out for like a trusted developer that could deliver at the end of the day, not some sort of like, just now you mentioned, I cannot see the crane or whatever. So we want to go into developers that we can trust also, because after all, it is still a lot of money involved at the end of the day, right? So let's just say today, if you are here with us today, right? And then sometimes people would actually label this period of time as economy may be a bit fluctuating in that sense. So why, in your opinion, should our investors still bet on Bukit Jalil instead of maybe, you know, driving it back the attention to KL City Centre?
This sounds like a buy call asking. Okay, the main difference between normal people and no-life property investors, right, is we have deals laid out on my table. So this current moment of time, I have 6 other deals on the table. I'm just waiting for my rental, my latest unit to be rented out, so I can declare 6 months of income so I can qualify for the next loan, right? That's the mode that I'm in. And in that mode, then I don't think this is going to be suitable, because this is considered on a higher end, right? So this comes with the intention of investment own stay kind of thing, where it's downsizing. So the best part about this is that when it's an own stay product and the renter can cover installment. That's the okay. So for those who are not familiar with my work, it's called Sean's 4 basic steps, right? So the first one is to get your intent right. You want to rent out for investment or you want to own stay. But most of the time when you want to own stay, right, the qualities of the property, right, it's absolutely in contrast to what makes it a prosperous property. I want quiet, I want away from everything, very little people, no people cha xiao me, right? No rental one, right? So the best balance is you want own stay that the renter can cover installment. This kind of fulfills that, right? So you can own stay, you can walk to the park, walk to the mall, but just is it quiet? Is it the most quiet? No lah. But that comes at the exchange of the convenience. You know, every time you need to walk, you need to drive out. Yeah, but just that again, when you got a lot of concert here, then a bit hard here. Because like today also, like my wife already like text me, "Tapao food back, don't go out because Johor is playing tonight."
Bukit Jalil Stadium, yes.
Yeah,
JDT.
so you will see, you will have first-hand experience later on the traffic situation. But then if for pure investment, definitely we have better deals. But that is highly dependent on your access to deals. Because there's 4 buying channels in Malaysia. You buy new, buy sub-sale, buy auction, or you buy bulk purchase. This one, they are so good that they will sell themselves. So there's like no other alternatives. Maybe you can score 1 or 2 for auction here. Anything else is all sub-sale. And sub-sale is about 1,000 per square feet already for Park 2. Now you're buying Park Green at Park 2's price. I'm not telling you to buy, but that's just the logic that when I look at it. So, just imagine if I get a unit 4 years later, what would be the rental like? Then only I decide whether I want to stay. But later, 4 years later, Daddy, I don't want to come back. I think UK, I got a job. Right? Then whether economy turmoil or not, right? I'm in this industry. So I bought my first property at 22. Until now, it's like 15 years already, right? Okay, you can just tell you all my age already. Never mind, I'm a guy. Never before, economy good one. But everybody keeps changing car one. When buy
buying
car,
houses also.
when buy car, nobody talks about turmoil lah, economy downturn lah. No, this EV right? So, so that's the different mode where I'm trying to change also. Technically, I could get a better car, so the valet person will take me more seriously lah. But in that point of view, this offers a very different thing compared to all the supplies around. Okay, we just compare Bukit Jalil alone. Just now we talk about 8 to 10,000 units ma. How we do research is then we compare size, compare layout, compare returns. Then you can really differentiate, right? Which one is in demand, which one is not. And that's the magical part about real estate also, just like stocks. Why when KLCI collapse, right? Still got people make money ma. So it depends on whether you got the skill sets and eye to look at which project to buy lah.
Okay, so look at the title here. We label Park Green as the final masterpiece of Bukit Jalil City. So this is definitely a very bold tagline as well. So beyond scarcity, like we're talking about, since it's the final piece, do you think there is also some sort of like tangible perks with buying into maybe one of the last project in this most iconic piece of land right now as we speak?
Wow, this one like exam level question.
对 it's like you 今天没有买，明天就没有这个 opportunity 啦。It's that kind.
Okay, because this is part of the master plan, that's why their selling price will be packed to be a little bit more premium to justify all the hard work that they have done, ma, right? The actual fact that we are now talking about Bukit Jalil City is because of them. That's why they have the demanding thing. If not, you are always welcome to buy next door one, ma, but you don't want. Why? It's not done in a master plan format. Okay, so looking forward, what is going to happen here in Bukit Jalil? So the wellness city is coming up. Yeah. What is it like? I don't know. Meranti is coming up, the industrial park. How is it like? I don't know. Not I built one, right? Then we have a lot of developments right opposite as well. Then we have behind the shop lots of the chicken rice shop. What is it called? By the other developer one. There got another few thousand projects, right? Then IMU just upgraded themselves into more subjects, not beyond all the medical kind of thing. Then you have a new Columbia hospital. Then Apit is also developing a lot more subjects as well. And the concerts, like Malaysia becoming a last resort for all artists to make money. All retiring singers all come to Malaysia, you don't realize, man? Last wave, that's why Malaysia got money one. So in that point of view, I still think that there's still some space for growth compared to those who bought this one. Last time you paid 700 per square feet. Siao, right? And I still remember when this was launched. IMU like no. So Bukit Jalil is not even an address for demand. But suddenly now we are arguing whether 1,000 now can buy or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So the best strategy is to buy this at 700 lah. But nobody wants to sell you that, ma. Right? That was the only slot I got. MCO time. So in 3 years time, I make a lot of money lah. So, but again, it will never happen again.
Yes.
So your call. Is this going to be higher than other developers around? I don't think this is the most expensive, in my opinion. But just that the true moment of realization is when you collect your keys 4 years later. This is 3 years, 4 years, 4 years, 3 years. Nobody want to answer me. Never mind. 4 years, this one. Yeah. So if 4 years later you will have 8,000 units altogether. That's something to imagine before you want to put the check in. Because, like, okay, so where's the trees? Is it here? This one. For those who bought this one, right? But if it's a home, right? Now every morning here jam like, walao, right? Because your school next to you very, very famous. It was a benefit until your child is 13 years old. Then he gotta move out already. Yeah, so with this, right? At this price also, everybody was complaining it was too expensive. So whenever people talk about expensive, right, it's always relevant. This one also expensive. Last time, this one also expensive. This one also expensive. This one also expensive. So is that remark even relevant? You get what I mean? But for those who bought before MCO, 2 to 3 years before MCO, unfortunately, all didn't make money because it's still, they bought at the peak. I think the one in between the park one, all owners are still losing money. What's the only way out? Because you got no other components around to kind of support the demand of space. This one got. They can control the commercial part, they can control everything else. That's the difference when you look into different developments.
Awesome. Now let's also talk about. I think nowadays we are constantly hearing some of the accreditation that we're getting for some of these projects, like the Green RE. This certification always sounds good, but do you really think it does also impact in terms of the development outcome, resale value perhaps in the future as well?
It's just good to have for the developers sometimes to go and win awards, get better financing rates, right? But will you ever buy a project just because it's green? I prefer 100 per square feet cheaper.
But it's a bit hard to argue this because sometimes projects that are certified green in a sense.
Okay, I have a degree in green building, and I'm saying this because the only way for the industry to change is make it mandatory. That's all. Must do. So it's never, this one green, this one not green. Will you pay more money just because this is green? I don't think so, right? But since all green, then let's look into pricing. It's not like I get a choice also. That would be the way forward. So I think now for all projects, it's almost mandatory already. And I don't want to talk about why Malaysia need to create their own green RE and things like that. That one is a whole different story altogether. But if you are in the industry long enough, it's just a good to have lah. If this is platinum green RE certification, right, can I ask for 3,000 per square feet? No, right? So I think it's just it's a bonus. By the way, this is certified. Okay, horse lo.
Okay, so I think my final question to Sean before we start opening some questions from the floor. Maybe some of you may have questions to ask him in direct also. So a lot of people always say that Bukit Jalil city itself, we are constantly overshadowed by all the commercial components, like the mall, for instance, the park and everything else. So they will say, okay, Bukit Jalil city definitely is building a brand of its own due to all these commercial components. But do you think it's really true that it is overshadowing the residential appeal of it?
It's because it has things to shout about, ma. If you look what's the thing about Kinrara? A golf course, that's all, right? So when it's like that, then it's a residential oriented project lah. It will be terrible for rental lah. Then the closest thing for a good investment is the one close to the MRT station, no? Right? So again, like Bangsar South, it's famous because of the commercial offices, ma. That's why the residential project there tokong, ma. But if you want really, really nice project, residential one, right? I don't think there's one now. Like pure residential only. So even Mont Kiara is driven by again, when we talk about tierings, it's where the rental can go up to 5,000, 8,000 kind of thing, and no logic one. I don't know why expat is willing to pay. That's because of the high demand of space driven by job opportunities. So when I'm looking into Meranti opposite, hopefully more Ang Mo will come in. That's why when I go and eat breakfast below my block, right? Annyeong! Again, everybody annyeong downstairs, right? I think it's a good thing because they are the perfect form of tenants. If you want really pure residential one, right, that's OUG. You won't see, I don't think you will see any foreigners in OUG lah. And the only source of foreigners will be from Bukit Jalil side one. Yeah, so that's my take. Like whether, just now when you say it, right, they only have the mall lah, they only have the park lah. Those are selling points. How are those? Well, it will be quite sad if it's only houses. So so to me, that's the main thing lah. So I can actually, if I work from home, right, this is a perfect setting, which is my setting lah. I literally don't have to go anywhere.
Okay, so I guess thank you so much for your insights so far. Yeah. So with that, we will now be ready to take some questions from the floor. So feel free, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. And then I think we have a crew here to hand over a microphone. Sean, team, anyone? There you go, gentlemen, third row.
Hey, hi Sean. Hey.
What's up, man?
Yeah. Love your YouTube channel, by the way. Yeah, learned a lot from you.
Got subscribe or not?
Huh? Got.
Learn, then subscribe, man.
Got.
It's like 62% people watch but didn't subscribe, man.
I think the average is about 15% for a lot of KOL, so I think you're very much above.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Live question.
Question is, just talk about exit strategy, right? So
Yep.
just now you mentioned, obviously the per square feet is a bit on the higher side. So do you see like second-hand market very active right now? I don't think so. If you think about rental, if you look at iProperty, look at Property Guru, the trend is like -7% year to year. What's your take on that?
exit strategy, there will be two. One is capital appreciation, one is rental. The data that I like to stick to is the rental data. So if what you buy, the rental can cover, of course everybody wants that, but because this is on a higher side, then how much percentage can it cover? Because if you buy it for your own stay, right, you don't even have to pay attention to it, but it's a good to have feature, right? Will it go up higher? For the past 2 years, for the actual transacted price is about 30 over units only, Bukit Jalil. But because it's so hyped right now, because it's all new. And we also got to give some time because it's the MCO ma. So like if you look into past transaction price, it's about 800 over square feet, 900 over per square feet only the price. But it's all on this side lah. On the Muhibah station side, that one is a bit different. No? So whether or not, or how I wish I can foresee this one next, for the next 5 years, 10,005 per square feet. Brother, I will buy the whole tower lah, please. It's up to your guesstimation. No? So I think it's about certainty, whether, okay, it's about your intention first. If you're buying this for own stay, that's just a bonus, right? Because at this price point, your IQ level is pretty high already. Right? The second one is if the rental currently can already justify like 85 to 90% of it, I think it's a good own stay product. Of course, I want a project where the rental is higher, way higher than my installment, which is like the one that I'm staying right now. Lor. So my current installment is 1,009. My neighbor is renting out similar furnishing for 4,002. But my wife want to stay. Technically, I should rent it out, right? But too bad lah. So in that situation, will this happen here? I don't know. But we can guesstimate based on Park 2's numbers. So if you look into Park 2 numbers, it won't chow too much. Lor. So let's assume like a 3 to 4% year-on-year increase on rental. 4 years later, when you take the unit, what's the rental going to be like? Also, if you look into the surrounding project, do we have a lot of units above 1,000 square feet one? Not much. So if you are playing around the 700-800 square feet one around Bukit Jalil, very dangerous. Now, if you're holding a unit that's about 800 square feet one, right? Wow, kanchong oh. Because another 8,000 units, same size coming oh. So it's a direct cannibalize. But if I want to be next to the park, but I need for my family, different. Yeah, but I like that you do your homework. I Property Guru, but Property Guru on that one, okay lah, because I'm very close to them, right? I always whack them, not Bo Chun one. The Chun one is the data sense, but they only pay money. So it's all about not prediction, but just guesstimation. Up to you, like how I wish I can tell. But imagine if this is selling 800 per square feet, I don't think we are even here today. Launch for what? No need to launch, also sold out already. That is where I think is the right price from a business point of view. Is when, should I buy? Should I not buy? When you look into the pricing, oh, this one too cheap already lah. Sure buy one. But if too cheap also people dare not buy. Sure something wrong. That Malaysian very weird one. I always say in my channel one, Malaysians, right, when we buy property, right, we could feel one. Wow, this one feng shui macam yes, huh? Then I buy. But when we go to Singapore, everybody looks into the same data one. They even know how much the developer is making one from profit margin point of view. They know how much the land acquisition, what's the construction cost today, what's their margin, this is the price. Ours one, so we buy property like a hobby at that one here in Malaysia. Especially at this price range. I don't think a lot of buyers here, they even know what's the rental rates one. Yeah. Just like property buyers in Penang. Tanjung Tokong area launching 1,002 per square feet, right? For me, like, wow, so expensive one. Sold out. Because they wanted to ask me, Sean, you want to come over and do an event? Okay lah, I wait for you. No need already. Walao, sold out already. But they look into rental, right? Cannot justify one. Then you ask the buyer, hey, you buy one unit, oh yeah. How much I rental? Yeah, so again, it's if you look pure data again, from an investor, we have better choices. But this is not your investment-oriented gao kind of product. Because deep down, yeah, how nice if I can stay here still.
Just a follow-up question as an investor, right? So you mentioned that you buy more than 2 or 3 properties. So there's a LTV 70% that all of us get after certain numbers. So how do you overcome that?
I have that issue like 10 years ago already. So there's only, okay, it depends on how transparent I want to be. Okay. One is you buy okay, for those who don't understand the question is, if I buy my third property, I got 70% only for loan quotas. How do I overcome it? Because if I buy one new project, right, 30%, 1.2 million, siao, use what? Kidney, right? 400,000. But the first point is people do actually have that amount of money, which is the actual intent of the policy, why it's in there for the first place, right? Is to curb all this speculation, number one. Number two is you buy commercial properties, so you get 85%, so you save a little bit more. Then when you have a developer that is willing to offer like 15% discount, I know developers don't give discount, right? But if they give 15% discount, then zero up-down payment. Third thing is you can refinance your earlier ones, so you got more cash to dump into this one. One more is you refinance into AIA mortgage financing. So the benefit of doing that is because current system, AIA is not a bank. So it doesn't appear in my secrets one. Jeng, jeng, jeng. Hey, this one, people pay me a lot of money to listen one. I just give you all for free. So good. But like, you sure or not? Like, because I'm using also. So a lot of people is now just refinancing all their earlier projects into AIA. Yes, interest rate will be higher. Yes, you need to buy life insurance from them. That's how they make money, But for me, I just want to have more 90% loan. Okay? And the last one, whether I want to share to you or not. No, that one.
What about the one that people say you open a company and then you park a
IAC.
IAC?
No more already. 冇感覺國際搶咗. 3 years ago, no more. Because last time secrets a little bit more. I almost used the wrong word. Okay, a little bit more, right? Where all the zone, the era of multiple submissions. I thought this person trying loan for the same unit. Last time no address one when you apply for secrets. Now it's straight away they know which unit you are buying, which is good lah. They don't now it's like an auction fiesta kind of thing. So no more. And when you set up a IHC to buy, you buy residential is also 80%, most 75%, right? That one technically you buy to acquire what you have as a portfolio, so you use your 90% to buy more. It's like a recycling kind of thing. Assuming all the projects that you buy all make money. Once you have one that is bleeding one, bro, what for you have 4 projects that's losing money? So the whole point of that, right? Everybody got it wrong. The point of why we do property investment is to what? Make money, not compare how many properties I have. But just because everybody keeps comparing who's one bigger, right? From a man point of view, right? It's by the number of units I have. I could have just whacked a tower of low cost, I have 400 units, but one unit 30,000. That's not the right metric, But again, we don't carry our SPA all around. Like a lot of people borderline say that I always show off my Mont Kiara unit lah, my Desa Park unit lah. No, I don't have Desa Park, sorry. I got Bukit Jalil unit lah, right? Oops. So in that sense, I think there's still other ways like auction also you can go about it. But that one also need cash. So the last one is actually bulk purchasing. But bulk purchasing is always targeting developers who price their project wrongly. So assuming this is priced in 1,500 and no sales, right? But I don't think they are desperate enough. But some other developers who are a little bit more desperate, then they will try to exit. But they then feel bad for the initial buyers, So what they do, they exit underground, and guess who is there, right? I'm always underground from auction market, whatever market, right? So my goal when I do property investment is I don't have zero romance towards which channel I buy one. From developer ke, sub-sale ke, auction ke, bulk purchase ke, I don't care. I just need the lowest price in the market. But for prestigious developers like them, I don't think they will go into the auction or the whatever route, right? So the only best chance I get, I'm Sean, right? I'm famous, right? Maybe get 1 more percent, that's about it lah. But I see 1% better than normal people, that's all. But will that solve your 30% to an extent only, right? So the other, no 1% amount. Okay, I tried.
We mark up somehow 1% extra for Sean, right?
And that's my ex-housemate. I still don't want to give me discount. Okay, so in that sense, after the third, then there's a different ball game to play. But all those that I just shared with you, right? All I'm using. Because my goal is 25, right? I'm somewhere here. But in my community, I'm taking things too slow. Like my guy that I always follow telling me that I'm wasting time. Bro, you buy 1 and buy 4, same one, Wow, where got same, To them, it's the same one. You use the same loan application, same document, just sign for ma, easy ma. Because I've got bitten before. But the good thing about 70% is in Malaysia, right? A lot of people don't want to talk about this. When you put 20% down for property, right? Almost all properties in Malaysia are positive cash flow. But that's the international norm. Every country needs 25% at least down payment one. China 50. Singapore you can take out EPF or their CPF, but we can also take out EPF ma. Yeah. So all projects, right, we put in 20%, right, all positive cash flow. Right? Just that Malaysians are so spoiled, our definition of good property is I sign the papers already, I get cash back, and the property will be fully furnished, then the renter can still cover installment. Then must free cabinet lah, free touch and go lah, free umbrella lah, only we think is good, right? Yeah, so that's why after the cool thing is I go Singapore, I come back, I buy one. I go UK, I come back, I buy one. Because Malaysia property, in compared to all those settings, right, too cheap already.
I think the difference is yield. I think UK, the yield can go up to like 9-10%.
Yeah, when I was going to buy, it was 11. But my interest is 9. What's our interest like? You're 3.85. We complain, right? Hey, banker, don't you earn so much money. I want 3.7K or not. Then need to sign extra insurance. Cannot, don't want to sign also. Right? Yeah, also every country, you're right. Every country will have different ball games, different rules. That's why my point of view now, every Malaysian should just get at least like 3. And you get 1 every 10 years. By 28 you get 1. By 38 you get 1. By 48, see whether you want to buy or not lah. Right? So 1 is for own stay, 1 is for investment, 1 is for just in case. What if your kid is a genius then? Because my son now take the stethoscope, I scared. Then you go IMU, check the latest dentistry. How much? 1 million dentistry. I need to sell 2 houses just to send him to school. Right? I also scared. That's why in that case you need 4. But so like 3 just in case. And like me playing this game, right? To an extent, I think property is just a good enough game to bring us from 0 to about 8 to 10 million net worth. Last time it was the only game because got no crypto, no online trading, no forex, no nothing, right? But now you have so much more alternatives. So you have these 3 just to fully use the credit to the max as a Malaysian. Call it a day. So by 70, right? Then 70 you have a upfront 200,000-300,000, right? You just put into crypto, right? Like a place when the tariff was announced, right? I'm now actually seeking, every day is a good day now, right? In 2 weeks time, I earn about 6-70%. But I don't put it online because a lot of scams, a lot of people use my face. Now got AI. On Monday, AI generated face of mine selling gambling ads. Oh, property now very bad, you should gamble your money. The guy also, I want to hire that guy, see he want to work for me or not. Yeah, so that's my point of view. So like 3rd, 4th, 5th, it requires a little bit more clarification. We can PM tepi one. Because I need to see your first 2 whether make money or not. If your first 2 also tak boleh already, why buy the 3rd? It's not a competition to end your life, ma. Right? Thanks for coming, man. Wow, solid question. Question number 1 anyway.
Yes, right. Thank you for the question. What about next? Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, John. I'm your subscriber, Sims MCO.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I need to clarify. I need to have tick
I
here.
need to clarify first. Okay, so I'm actually a civil engineer. So I could say I'm a front line of the property market. So from my observation, especially from the company I'm working with, we have a lot of projects are currently on hold, where a lot of developers are afraid to launch their new projects, maybe because of the uncertainty of the future and also especially is the increase of material prices since MCO.
Yep.
So actually, developer want to launch less than 500 ringgit per square feet is not possible based on the material prices. So it's actually a big contrast to what you often says in your channel that the property bull run is coming. What I'm looking at is going to be bad in the next few years. So what is your take on these matters?
Okay, so for those who don't know, like construction costs since MCO increased about 22 to 23% year on year, excluding sub-earthworks, right? So now with tariff lah, now with war lah, with natural disaster lah, it's a wonderful time for property. All properties all stuck, right? So averagely, we will still have about 2.6 to 3 million graduates in Malaysia for the next 15 years. Still very healthy. Like we are turning aging, right? We still got a lot of babies, right? A lot of young graduates. Where they go? So When construction stopped because of high price, they did not price in also because of MCO. So during MCO, a lot of developers lose money just to complete projects. But customers still complain like hell. Right? But that one, a whole separate story. That one we can go for an hour. So that is one episode altogether, right? But then, I love it when now developers, like a lot of developers, all holding back launches. But will the buying stop? No, you see, like the fact that you're all here, it proves me right, Amma. Okay? Then, once you become a property owner, right, you won't complain about inflation anymore. And you realize that? Wow, property price increase, this one increase, yay! Right, rental go up some more, yay! And no other choices already. So when property bull run happens, it's when the property price go up in a higher manner. So for the past decade in Malaysia, it's about averagely 4 to 5%. I said this on the news portal in January, right? Then the whole world laughed at me. Now YouTubers also can predict market. Right? But last month, I was right? Because it has been a very steady low market, and this kind of growth, steady growth, is not as exciting as the last bull run. Everybody buy, right? Before completion, sell, I make double. That's only spoiled by 2 developments. One is Setia Alam, right? The other is Desa Park City. No other developments provide such handsome returns already. Like if you buy last time 400,000, people also consider expensive already. Today is 2.4 million. No more. I call them the unicorns of real estate development. Next best thing is Bangsa South. People argue Kampung Kerinci lah, but the whole separate story again. Okay? So when supply stop, will buying stop? No. Renting, will it stop? No. Only price will go up. If continue build, so unfortunately, right, I hope you go jobless. Meaning everybody, I'm sorry lah, but just kidding, right? But deep down, if you no job, developers all slow down, all start firing people, right? Existing property owners, woo. Yeah. Your mic is not on.
Hello? Yeah. Actually, a lot of my colleagues are considering to other field. In fact, a lot have already changed to other fields. So, but my argument will be whether the market has accept the increase of prices or not. Because from what I see, some developers, they try to launch, then they see, the response is very bad, so they hold back. So for us, the engineer, we cannot collect the fees also because it's not launched.
Yeah. There's a few perspectives here. One is developers all having PTSD. Want to launch, cannot launch, want to launch, cannot launch, nobody want to buy, right? Wow. If I collect 10% check, then I launch, right? But I will hold 10% for the next 4 years, I will die like cash flow, right? So now you all will issue me letter of demand. Siao, don't want, right? That's why also everybody now, until fully sign or SPA, only I announce launch. You see? So today launching and versus check collection is a whole separate thing altogether. I think we all know lah by this stage, right? But just that let's pretend for now. Then the other one is when developers all launching, all looking at the same market report. Let's call like KLCC projects, right? 300 to 400 square feet unit, right? They got 12,000 upcoming. And there's like last week alone, right? There was like 3 to 4 new launches, right? On the same product type. So, to me as a property investor, what's my goal again? Back, right? That is to make money, not to feel bad for the developer. Okay? If they are into deep troubles, I'm even more happy is I'll come down from the underground deal. That's how I make money, ma. But for a normal, so that's my concern. Like the whole goal of the channel, right, is to get everybody educated. Okay, when we buy projects like this, we don't even think about whether this project will complete or not. But for the others, right, a lot of people actually scared on it. Sean, they take down the crane already. There's one in Tutamas. I buy one, then everybody, Sean, the block C at level 26 for 3 weeks already. Walao, you work there or what? Every day go there and take pictures, same floor already, they are not building. So like they scared. But also it depends on which level are you also as a property investor. But to me, the narration can go both ways. Why am I still actively buying, but why are people concerned of oversupply? Malaysia, pretty big. And now, again, in our research, right, we just had our best quarter last year for the past decade. And we still think it's terrible. You get what I mean? We have the best transaction quarter last December. We say your property going to collapse when property bad. And that's also a narration. If I want to sell you, right, I want to be very famous today, everybody will go tweet about me. It's about, oh, property should collapse in the next 2 years. Property expert predicts market collapse in 2 years' time. I will go in all interview one. But when I say property market is going to be good, suddenly I need to justify your rental lah, your past theory lah, you got other, you get what I mean? That's the market. So when we listen to people also, that's why I keep asking people to audit the person you're getting advices from. The worst thing, okay, from a construction development background point of view, right? A lot of people who works, we are here in one, but let's go, let's roll, right? A lot of people who works in construction and developments, right, don't invest one. Their only source of unit is where? Contra. Developer don't want to pay money, give me unit. Then suddenly I got units, right? Because they are heavily in cash flow business. They don't want to tie themselves to commitments, right? Like you see, like your boss sure, like now also hair, don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Want to do work, then they use the next project to keep you around, but they don't want to pay you yet, right?
My boss also accept a lot of small projects like a mini park, those kind of things to kind of sustain the cash flow only.
Yeah, lor. My point exactly. Lor. But then why are we still making money? Like my rental, like this year, I just revised out only. Year on year increased about 11%, and I did nothing. Just timing, pushing through. Okay, so it's all about skill sets, like why we need to determine which one is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, which one is the current rental rate, what's the past transacted price. With the past 2 years, here got about 40 over unit transacted at 900 over 1,000. Do you think it will go up or go down? Right? Then you see, it got no life one. And this is like one out of the whole KL city in my mind. Then I got a friend here ask me, what are we going to talk about today? I don't know. But that's the fun part of it because I in, out every day talk about property only. Right? So, okay, I won't give buy calls, but in the channel got a lot lah. Right? In the channel got a lot. But also, please do bear in mind that even if I buy, you can get the same project, same location, same block, you won't get the same price. But maybe Melton because they don't want to give me discount. Right? Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.
Okay, gentleman in the back.
Hi, Sean.
What's up, brother?
Yeah. Actually, Bukit Jalil, I mean, all the while, the units last time used to be quite large units lah. But I think recently I saw one developer, which the name I shall not name lah. They started to launch units that are very small size. It starts from about 400 something to about 600 something. What's your take on it? I mean, given that Bukit Jalil, the price per square feet now is so high right now, and developers are starting to launch very, very small units in Bukit Jalil. And Bukit Jalil is not like the land is in scarcity. They are starting to launch so small units like equivalent to like Bangsa South like that. So what's your take on it? Is it sustainable or is it a good to go into such small units in Bukit Jalil?
Okay, the one with the medical suites one, then that one different story lah. I think you
Yeah. But there's another one.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, correct. So if the sales is good, then it's good. Because it's going to be like Desa Park City. When Nura was launched, mini unit, right? Okay, I got the floor plans before 6 months to 8 months before it was launched lah. Then everybody keep the developer, are we going to launch this at this price? People are going to come. People is going to line up for it. Why? Because of the address. So there will be a few stages to a township one. One is the OGs, the people who have bought like this one. They stay here for the past 10 to 12 years, right? Now cursing all the way one. Why must pavilion be built here? Right? Spoil all the things. It should be so quiet. Therefore, people who buy here, I have a lot of audience because they saw my face around. Sean, why are you promoting Bukit Jalil as an address? Because now it's already so jam-packed. You don't tell the world about this place, I want to live comfortably. So there's this sense of entitlement of always original owners of the location. But like you say also, like last time Twin Arcs are linked to all the sizes are also rather big one. KM1, all big one. That was to fulfill the original intent of the location. Own stay. And it's close to Max Highway. Last time no Max Highway also. Last time Kesas Highway only. But when times change, now there will be a new generation that wants the address. And the only thing they can afford is less than 500,000. So for developers, right, you can see as an opportunity, as a business strategy, is that I just launch something smaller within that price range and call it a day.
But do you think the supply is too much? I mean...
Oh, that one is not for me because like it's all by different developers. So maybe they look into the same market report or build the same thing. That's what we see just now as the KLCC debate lah. All different developers all launch the same price, same size, same layout. It's like the same consultant. Then whether will it turn out to be good? I don't know. Most likely not lah. Because what we want in a bigger land, a bigger build-up one is all the own stay intent ma. Like my block that I'm living right now is almost fully occupied one. So it's good. So like limited units for rental. That's why rental is also very high. But when it's buying for smaller units one, the entire consideration and ball game is very, very different. So what will really greatly turn this location around, right, to make all their studies correct is the industrial park. If industrial park really launch like what they are rendering does, hopefully lah, right? All the high-tech stuff, factory stuff, all turn out to be just like what they are, then maybe. But who am I to justify whether you spend 600,000 to buy a small unit here in Bukit Jalil? But that is the only thing they can afford. I'm in no position to judge, right? It's like the only thing I can afford in Desa Park City right now is a 2-bedroom old development. I can't even afford a new one, right? So like, is it wrong then to launch a product to captivate that market? I don't know. So it determines on what metrics are you looking at, like sales ke, moral ke, investment returns ke, right? It's a different metric altogether. But if you can afford, whole different story. Then should you buy one? If you can afford better ones, then why buy that one lah? But if that's the only choice that you have, but you really like the address, then buy lor. But if you have other options, but it's for investment, right? Then let's buy money-making one lah. You know what I mean? I don't judge the market. I hope that it collapses so I can pick up some when everybody wants to exit, right? Wow, very tough the question.
Hi, Sean.
Yes.
I think finally it's good to see you in real person, outside from the video, and a nice watch, by the way. So, yeah.
I'm scared
Nice watch, okay. Anyway, for someone who wants to find a property in Bukit Jalil for own stay, but without urgency, there's no urgency to find one right now. And as you mentioned, it's always you are paying the highest price when we are walking into the sales gallery, right?
Don't say out loud lah. Okay.
Okay, sorry. So, with 8 to 10,000 units going to be VP in 4 years' time, is it wiser for someone who wants to buy a own stay unit to wait for 4 years later?
I believe that though. Okay, so this one highly depends on your take on the market. Everybody, you ask 10 people here, people all say bad one, but they still invest one. Right? So don't see what they say, right? Don't listen to what they say, see how they behave. If you believe market is good, means when VP later, you get the keys, is 20% higher than launch price today. Will you be set for it? Or if it's VP, then they sell you like maybe 5% or even SPA price. But you get to choose the unit that you want. But you need 18% down payment. Can you afford that? So if I'm in your shoes, developers will hate me right today. Okay, because there's no rush. There's no rush, then it's a home. I want to pick the exact, because now maybe 0808 is the best unit that they are pricing in the premium, but it may not be the best view. So when it's handed over, right, then only I go and determine which owner kanjong already I want to let go, then only I come in. And with that point of view, what do I do in the meantime? In this 4 years' time, I will put my head down, whack the market, I will work like hell, right, to ensure that 4 years later I can still afford, even if it's 20% above market rate. You get what I mean? Yeah, so in that point of view, there's two approaches. Lor. If you kanjiong that 4 years later, price too high, I cannot afford, then buy, lor, right? Then, if it's not kanjiong one, I will put my money somewhere else to get higher than 5% per year. In 3 years, it's about 8.2, right? 5, then 5 on 5, and 5 on 5 on 5. A bit too fast, okay, but you get my point, right? So if my money works harder out there, then I get this at a home, because ultimately home is expenses. It's not to make money, it's to enjoy one. Then buy something that you really enjoy for certainty. And maybe 4 years later, right, only you truly see, right, the true moment of realization. Maybe after that, right, all the youngsters that just now all really move in. Then now even omakase we need to line up, right? Oh shit, I should have bought 4 years ago. But you have already made this decision before, not after. You get what I mean? That's why for own stay, right, I will argue I will only buy this when I'm 45 one. Before I truly understand where my career is going, but now uncertainty everywhere, right? I got better means to make money. So why put in so much money in enjoying a home first? But if you are loaded, bro, then just go ahead. Right? Because the cost of ownership is zero. Like, I don't know what's the Booking fee how much? Nobody want to see. Okay, never mind. I don't know. I don't know. No booking fee. Okay, no booking fee. I'm talking to the camera. Okay, no booking fee. No booking fee. So that's my take. If you are confident in yourself more to have the ability to pay even 18% 4 years down the road, I suggest to wait because you get better units or maybe even better price provided. But there's always a possibility that market performs so well, now it's 1,003 per square feet. Then like you, why the hell I go and listen to Sean talk so much, right? Now I literally lose 30% because people always predict like that. They calculate the potential earnings as loss. You just didn't earn, that's about it. You did nothing came out from your market, from your pocket, you know. So then now I present you all the data. We have the best transaction period last year. Engineers are losing their job because no one wants to launch, right? Then a lot of small units all coming out. Left big units only that's in demand. Sales pretty good, like 30-40% no booking. Then what's your take on it? And that's the difference between action. Data all the same one. Now how do you react to it? Like to me, because of my very gao investment approach, I will invest more first. So my goal, right, like now, I don't pay monthly installment, my tenants pay for me. Well, they want to be show off, but all my tenants pay higher rent compared to my installment. So every month, I will have surplus here and there, so I stay for free one, right? But I still want to rent out my house because the rental is very good. You get what I mean? Yeah, so in that point of view, then you think, is there going to be a better project than this? Is there going to be a location that you like more than Bukit Jalil? That's the part that I can never solve one. I just went to a project in PJ. 95% PJ people buy one. It was so good that the project was sold out even before the show unit was launched 5 years ago. Expensive like crazy. I won't buy. But all like people who stay in PJ all the time, right, will always buy PJ one. Cheras is not a location for them one. Siao people chase Cheras. Just like here, like Subang people, you think will come to Bukit Jalil? I don't think so, man. We will go to Subang, there jam, then they call us here jam. Everywhere, all same problem, but just that it's different location. That's the romantic part where I can never resolve. There's this association, especially if your parents stay opposite Liming, you cannot afford a daddy help. So all these kind of things, because I don't know you enough, and it's a own stay product, all the romantic feeling kicks in. Pure numbers, very easy. Like the mic is there.
Hi, Sean.
Hello.
My question is, would you think a data center will be a booster to Bukit Jalil?
No.
And why?
Because the whole JB is talking about it. Who is making the most money, right? Data center, landowner, and contractor.
And what is the downside of having a data center in?
Maybe we will have disruption in utilities. The amount of resources required to run a data center is higher. So like for industrial parks, right, in JB right now, the water calculation is different, electric different, everything different. I've seen you guys before, right? Last time your hair not this side one, but okay, point of view.
Good memory.
So, it'll be a while I'll go and remember uncle face. Okay, anyway, I would prefer it's like an office tower. So my most ideal township, right, is going to, if this turns out to be like Bangsar South, all grade A offices, right, and all in demand, all high rental, then a lot of people works around here, then that's the best. But that also creates disruption because I live here. Suddenly now I can just go to the market and eat my jiu fan, right? Suddenly, oh Sean, you need to line up, right? That's why it's always in contrast. So, but answer back to your question is data center, will it help a lot? I don't think so. But that will just reduce the amount of land to give you that false impression that no more land but we just look at opposite, walao. The whole Puncak Jalil didn't even touch it. Okay, but if you look into just a bit more further down Street Kembangan, they're also very tokong. Not like I have a unit there, no, I don't have that. But anywhere near the train station also pretty solid. Question, you hold the mic, yes.
Sean, would like to ask you comparing two areas, Bangsar South, not south of Bangsar, with Bukit Jalil. Which one will hit average transaction price 1,000 per square feet, and how long it will take?
Wow.
And the factor supporting your answer.
I will submit my assignment tomorrow, 10 a.m. Okay, I think this one will hit first. Bukit Jalil will hit first. Why? Because it's driven by want. Okay? From Bangsar South is driven by analytics. Meaning investor, right, we will always suppress the owner. We will not pay anything higher one. Okay, that's why. But if you talk about investment, Bangsa South is tier 1. This is tier 2. But tier 2 doesn't necessarily mean it's cheaper. Just that this is local driven and local affluent driven here. So this is a very high tier 2, maybe one day turn tier 1. But when it turns to tier 1, I think all the local people will move away. It's like Desa Park City at that. All the old real Desa Park City residents are all moving out already. Go in and out from the township takes about half an hour. Walao. Go Manjarara half an hour, one street away. But there's no other circulation pathway already. So a lot of locals are just moving out. So all the people that wants to be appeared in Desa Park City living all want to come in. That's why the price will go crazy. So Bukit Jalil, like now we are talking about 1,000 already, ma. Ta-da, today theories.
I mean transacted price is not a per selling price.
Oh, it's another 2. So we see about 900 per square feet already.
How long it will take to reach 1,000?
How long? How I wish I know lah, right? But what I can control is how much lower I'm buying. I'm buying at the launching price of this. That's how I secure win. I compare with today, right? What's the point of me predicting whether it will? It's not like buy Toto also. But now it's already about 900, 1,000. I bought at 700 plus. Of course, I want the location to prosper so I can make more money, ma. But that's not the point. But Bangsa South then, I just went to Goodwood, went to Laurel, went to Sequoia, went to a lot. Excellent ROI. But if you talk about South Link, talk about all the smaller one, right? Even better. That's why it's a good argument also. Just now you got big unit, small unit, man, but all of them prosper. Why? Job opportunities there. That's why it's called a tier 1. Here is not tier 1 yet. Okay, good enough the essay? Wow. Stress today. So hot one today. Luckily I put gel, it didn't melt.
Alright, so any more questions from the floor? Because I know, as usual, I think after the session also, some of the guests will flock over Sean, then ask him some private questions.
Because they will talk about their income, they will talk about their...
Exactly. So if there is no question, we take it and we will end this Q&A session here first, of course. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's give one big round of applause to Sean right here. Thank you so much for joining us today and of course, making your way all the way here. I think somehow we will be able to bring home some golden insights from Sean. Now, of course, like you say, every buyers, you've got different perspective. Every investor, you've got also different concerns. So I think it's good to have some insights over. And also from here, we will see how we are able to better personalize to your needs, your wants, your affordability and whatnot.